Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to modern audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to modern audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to some audiences. Your discretion is advised.
I'm gonna say something. Hey, you mama pichos, all of you. You guys are the worst son of a bitches. You don't take me on your show. Go to hell, you haters!
Hey fans, it's another new year and another new episode of Wrestling POV Global. I'm your host, TJ Logan. With me, Elio Canella, and guess what? We got some invaders. They talked on their show that they were coming over, and they are in the house. I have over from Wrestling POV itself. Well, we got Tony, the big dog himself, and...
What, you gonna call me the big dong? It sounded, Rick, come on, man. You got to vouch for me. It sounded like you was going to say Tony, the big dong himself. What the fuck, man?
You truly are a dong, but...
Oh, my God.
What day is it? Today's Sunday? Who's talking about dongs?
Anyhow, folks, it is a new year, and we've had...
New dong.
The big dong. We have... the WrestleMania of the indie world just recently, so it had to be a big enough show to have my...
Hey, you didn't even introduce Rick!
I know!
I said Rick Serrano! He was...
No! Rick Serrano! Rick Serrano is my grandfather! Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest wrestling POV champion alive!
I shouldn't have said nothing.
Rick Serrano, the third, is in the building! Oh, Canada!
Okay! Well, here we go. Now, all egos aside, we've got today a great show where we're going to be talking all about Wrestle Kingdom, and we're going to talk a little bit about all elite wrestling. What that means, we don't know, but we're going to talk about it. But you know what? Let's start off with our regular news, rumblings, and injuries. I'm going to start off with some news. There has been a lot of movement organizations over the last week or two. Of note, this AEW selling Joey Janela. We're looking at Britt Baker and Chris Jericho. I don't know what that's all about, but that's pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. And MLW making some crazy moves, taking Teddy Hart and Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Wow.
Exclusive U.S. contracts.
Okay.
Wow.
So, you know what? I'm going to throw it over to the injury report.
No.
I want to rumbling. You guys don't take control of my show. Let's get
Whoa!
Jeez.
Excuse
Damn.
Oh, Canada!
Elio squish them. No.
Holy shit.
Elio is a 12th degree black belt, boys. I'd be careful with him.
All right. Shit.
I'm schooled in karate and jiu-jitsu.
He saw
all that.
God damn.
I'm sad you're mistaken. I'm sure you're mistaken.
Oh my God.
Oh, excuse me. I'm not getting your catchphrases right, Elio. Someone's head is big over there. Got catchphrases.
It's a big country. It's a big country. We need
Holy
big heads.
shit.
Let's do some rumblings. Tony, you got some rumblings?
Yes, I got nice rumors for y'all. I got a lot of rumors for you guys. You can agree with them. You can agree. I don't give a shit. But I'm going to tell y'all anyway. All right? So here it is. Darren Young. You guys remember Darren Young, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's hoping, and this is what's funny, he's hoping to wrestle in New Japan or Ring of Honor this year, but there might not be some interest in either promotion. That's cold.
What would there be?
I don't know, man. That's just wrong.
Guy. Sorry.
What's that?
He showed very little work for a guy to go into companies that are really work related.
True. Wait a minute. Didn't he go to TNA?
TNA is not work related.
Well, yeah. Well, Impact.
TNA, I don't know.
Didn't he go to
I
Impact?
mean, for Darren Young, TNA doesn't sound like it's up his alley.
Oh, damn. Took some ass. Anyway.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, for you on
Up
Sundays.
his alley, but okay.
Yeah. All right. So, some sources close to me revealed that AEW, if you don't know what that is, that's All Elite Wrestling, will go hard, no homo, after WWE talent and other personnel. The promotion will feature a mix of younger wrestlers and legends, with Goldberg being a name on their wish list. What do you guys think about that?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Serious?
Division?
Where did that name come up from? Goldberg.
I don't know. Goldberg, yes. They want Goldberg. I mean, I don't know what he's going to be doing there, but that would be interesting to see. Yeah.
What? You gotta speak up because he's like 95 years old.
Well, Miguel's not here to do the sound effects, so that would have been perfect. All right, so now there's some talk of Anthem selling Impact to All Elite Wrestling also. But All Elite... Yes. Check this out, though. But All Elite passed on the deal.
They were like, what? $50? That's way too much.
Exactly. All right, they're saying that Double or Nothing is likely happening in April and will likely take place in Las Vegas, Nevada. They expect to outdraw All In. Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. And these were from a good source. These. All right. So AEW offered contracts to Pentagon and Phoenix over the past 2 weeks. No response yet.
Wow.
But Impact Wrestling offered a big 6-figure deal to both of them. So I didn't know they had that money.
Deal? $6 deal?
Probably a happy meal. All right, so
packs?
exactly. AEW apparently then tripled that offer because they want to have both at the rally in Jacksonville yesterday. So I don't know if it happened. I didn't watch it yet. Sorry. So that'll be interesting. I'm interested. So, despite interest from WWE and AEW, Dave Meltzer, I hate him, he said Juice Robinson inked a 3-year deal to stay with New Japan.
I believe that.
Yeah, you know what? And we're going to talk about the Wrestle Kingdom later on, but I was impressed. All right. Now, finally, Tom, TJ, you got to help me with the name. Kushida?
Kushida, yes.
He is WWE bound.
Yes, that is rumors for the last 4 weeks.
Yes.
Is that done?
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. He's already yesterday announced on Twitter that he's done with New Japan after 9 years.
Yep. Done deal. So, Rick, take it with the damn injury. TJ messed it up. I don't even know his name anymore.
Why am I working?
I don't know.
As a guest.
You were supposed to invade.
Elio's just saying now, the gentleman over the injuries.
The gentleman, Elio Canella.
The gentleman.
Just sipping tea with the pinky up. He's part of the Carmella crew. Not Carmella. What's her name? Charlotte.
Oh, Paige. Charlotte. Intoxicating.
Rather intoxicating.
All right, on to injuries. Ladies and gentlemen, the injuries. Cody Rhodes had 3 things on his list to do this week. Eat a banana split Sunday, go to a rally, and get his knee scoped out.
Yep.
So, he ate the banana split, he went to the rally, and now it's up to his knee getting scoped out. He's saying that the doctors he got is saying that he's going to have a quick recovery, so he will be ready for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. He's ready to go in a couple of months, so let's hope everything works out for him. Second injury, Kota Ibushi got the snot knocked out of him by Will Ospreay. Yo, man, what's up with your boys, guys, in New Japan with that hard hitting, man? They don't play games out there. That pile driver that Ospreay delivered.
That was nasty.
Yeah. Oh man.
Fighting spirit, boys. Fighting spirit.
Yeah. Well, he's concussed. serious, but a concussion is a concussion. When you talk about a brain injury, you can't say it's not serious.
That is true.
Anything that makes you delirious has to be serious. What? You hear this kid rapping over here?
Wow. You're a poet, didn't even know.
It's delirious, but anyways. I talk, he's been concussed a few times.
Exactly. That injury he suffered in Tennessee, the finger injury that Rick suffered, it went up there. So, yeah, you're right, Tom. TJ.
From the shoulder, now they're saying it's transferred to my brain, so it's been a rough life for me right now after that injury.
Yeah.
But let's not talk about me. Let's just keep things moving on. TJ, I mean, not Elio, obviously. TJ, you got some polls you want to discuss. Let's go on the poll.
Well, you know what? There were some polls that went up on the site for Facebook. The first one we were going to look at was about Kenny Omega, I believe, right?
Yeah, the cleaner.
The cleaner himself. We put up a poll wondering, because the rumors were, just before Wrestle Kingdom, Kenny's contract was about to expire. Rumors were out there that he was going to maybe go to the WWE, that they'd offered large contracts, or perhaps he was going to re-sign with New Japan or something else.
Yep.
Well, we know what happened afterwards, but let's talk about our poll.
Okay, before you go with the poll and the comments and all that shit, TJ, I'm going to tell you, we talked about it on the Wrestling POV, which you can catch on our Facebook page at Wrestling POV and Instagram at Wrestling POV Juan, and not the one over the border, but the number Juan, and on our Twitter at Wrestling POV, that when we talked about it last week, they offered him a 4 to 5 year deal worth $23 million and the right to have like the control, creative control, obviously the shirt sales, merchandise, all this other shit. So I'm interested to see what happened in this poll.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you know what? The polls came out, and I find this very interesting because I have my opinion now after the whole thing's been said and done. But the polls went 51% of people thought he would be going to the WWE, 49% saying he was staying with New Japan.
That was close.
That was very close. And you know what the most ironic, funny thing is? Everybody 100% might be wrong. And we'll get into that today, too. But let's look at some of the comments that we had here, okay? Here's one we had from Tuck Cohen, who said, if all his fans going to come over and complain about WWE product, then keep him where he's at. Ooh,
damn.
Not a lot of love there. Christopher Matthews says, honestly, don't care. I don't see where he's any better than others. Plus, he looks like Adam Sandler in The Wedding Singer.
Oh, damn!
Damn. True, not bad.
That is true.
Damn.
That is true.
Adam Singer.
Jesus Christ.
Jack Seaver said, I know more than likely in New Japan it would have to be a good deal so he doesn't get Nakamura.
Damn. So he feels like he's going to get the Nakamura treatment, huh?
Yeah. All right, here we go. Adam Anderson says, it's a positive sign that he's at least meeting with them. However, it's hard for me to see him as a WWE guy, but we'll see. Kenny has to remain in control of his creative role, or else WWE will bury him eventually, just like what happened to Gallows and Anderson, Finn Balor. Gallows and Anderson deserve a long WWE tag title run for record breaking, and Finn deserves a WWE championship again since he had to give it up due to injury.
All right.
You're a writer for WWE all of a sudden?
And let's face it, guys, they have booked Gallows and Anderson so bad. I don't think they really believe them as credible tag team champions out of nowhere right now.
No, they've ruined those two.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I don't think so with Finn Balor, though. I mean, I personally, I don't think they're using him right.
No.
Even though he was the first Universal Champion, so you got to give him that. But you're right. You look at the Good Brothers. They're not. I mean, they won the Raw Tag Team titles once. I think that was it. So that might have been their highlight of their WWE career. But at the same time, look at AJ. You know, look at what he's done for the company, and You know,
Look how long it took them to get there too. I mean, they took us
but,
the ringer in the beginning.
yeah, that's true. But the way WWE is that you gotta work your way up. You can't just boom automatically get it.
Yeah.
You know, just like when they're talking about Bobby Lashley. You know, they're like, oh, he should have already beat Brock Lesnar. Well, Bobby Lashley just got to the company, man. You know, a lot of people
first.
And yeah, you know, a lot of people, they don't know who Bobby Lashley is, to be honest. You know, just like Hogan was, he was just on Raw, you know. He didn't get the big pop he normally got. Why? Because a lot of people don't know who he is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously, this is a new generation of people watching wrestling, and they don't know who a lot of these wrestlers are. You know, I'm sorry to say, Hulk Hogan is a legend in his own mind, but at the same time, it's like a lot of people are starting, a lot of new viewers are starting to watch wrestling. They don't know who he is. They don't know what he's accomplished. So,
well, you know what? They're stupid. They're just stupid.
they are.
Rick's got a good point. There's some great Gawker videos of Hulk Hogan out there too.
I thought you said guacamole. I got
I
hungry.
eat guacamole while I walked in. Yeah.
I got hungry all of a sudden. I want some guacamole. Mole.
Here was an interesting comment I liked. Mike Marquardt said, Omega doesn't want WWE. He loves Japan. Whereas just to do tours, he lives there. He speaks Japanese. He lives for the big matches. I can't remember the last time I saw a wrestler have so many fantastic matches on the bigger stages. How often does this happen in WWE? It's not that he can't have great matches with the talent. I think WWE puts too many handcuffs on you with their systems and booking. The Bucks and Cody turned down offers of 7 figures. I'm not sure if I believe that.
I don't believe that.
Kenny doesn't seem any more motivated by money. If I were his guess, he wants to do New Japan and AEW. The question is, will New Japan work with AEW?
Yo,
no.
You know, these guys, they're just so smart, man. And what was his last name?
Marquardt.
What is he? French Canadian?
Whoa.
Like that comment?
Elio, stand up for yourself.
I don't know.
I'm Western Canadian.
Now, I already heard.
To the Wolves every time.
Now, I already heard that New Japan does not want to work with All Elite.
Yep.
They said they want to stick with Ring of Honor, and that's it. So that comment is out the window. Yeah.
I kind of like this one too. Oops. Ooh.
You
Sorry,
lost
guys, technical difficulties.
So, it's not a technical difficulty. TJ basically pulled a Tony right now. And,
I'm trying to follow along here.
I got it right here. They came back to me. Craig Gilmore says, he'll be in AEW before he goes to WWE. Omega's style is not PG. Even he knows that. You can't water down the cleaner. Guys, what do you think of that comment?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think that's a disagreement all around.
Yeah.
If it's not a Vince creation, it's gonna get taken over.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the person created that
Their persona or
that
whatnot.
character, that persona, it's gonna get taken over by the writers.
Yeah, but
That is true.
But
That
here's,
is true. Nobody walks in the same person as they walked in and get to be on TV next week in WWE.
Now here's the thing. As a wrestling point of view, you know, Kenny Omega's not getting any younger. Okay, he's what, 37? No,
35.
35. You know, so if WWE offered him a 4 to 5 year deal, if it is true, I don't know yet, $23 million in 4 or 5 years, for me, that's a damn good deal. Another thing is age. Age has a lot to do. I mean, your body will start to get worn out after a while. Now, I tip my hat off to R-Truth. The man's like 50-something years old, and he looks like he's in great shape and doing really good for himself. A lot of people is not like that. You know, who knows? Kenny Omega might be like that. So, I mean, for him to go to All Elite, for me, it's kind of like, you know, he's entering a brand new territory, not like WWE. You know, WWE will protect him. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I strictly feel. They did it with Daniel Bryan. They're starting to do it with AJ Styles. They're doing it with Brock Lesnar. Jesus. And, you know, they did it. They've done it for so many wrestlers that maybe that might be a deal for Kenny Omega to do. It might suit him. Who knows? He might want to stay in the States, and he's not. He's all done with New Japan anyway. But I don't know. Yeah.
He's Canadian.
so I don't know.
Rick, I'm sorry, Tony. You bring up a point here, though.
What's that?
He's 35 years old.
Yeah.
Right? You've seen, even in Wrestle Kingdom, look at that style and that pace and that hard-hitting wrestling. He does that every match.
Yeah.
That's got to take a toll on your body. I mean, he is wrestling a high-impact style that you've seen that, Tony, right firsthand, guy wrestle like that. You don't get a long career every night going out like that.
No. And I'm sorry to say, like I said, entering a new territory like All Elite, which they're just starting out, and they're going to go balls to the wall. What's that?
Yeah, they're going to have to do that.
Yeah, and with Kenny Omega, I mean, now this is my question though. All Elite is starting off brand new. Where would somebody like Kenny Omega fit in? You know what I'm saying? Where's he gonna?
He would have to be the top, wouldn't he?
He would have to be. So then, where does that lead Cody Rhodes?
Second top dog.
Isn't he the whatever?
Interdanger tag team champion with Brandy.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
And then we're going to see her get injured every week.
Oh, jeez.
She's got a bionically repaired shoulder, remember?
Hey, no shoulder jokes, all right? Relax.
No, but seriously, that's what they've said on ROH, is she has a bionically repaired shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm offended.
Rick, were you bionic on us? Did you
Probably.
He's got a bionic finger.
$6 million man.
I am.
It's Elio, it's American money. It only needs to be 6,000.
Damn! Oh!
Our money worth nothing.
Speaking of which, I got to talk to the Wrestle POV podcast president about how much you guys are making, how much we're making.
Yeah, what the hell?
Wait. There's money involved in this? What are you talking about?
Oh.
Anyway, moving on.
What the hell?
I think I haven't seen what's going on.
What's the next poll you guys got to tell me about?
All right. Moving on to some of these guys. Walter Sanchez says, I'd say he's AEW bound if he doesn't stay in New Japan. So it seems a lot so far. I could see the people who have commented are definitely looking at WWE not being the thing for him. But see if we can find a really great comment in here. Okay. So somebody had posted about how they're all friends, right, going into this.
Okay.
Aaron Burton said, Tim Kaminsky, how does following your friends to a new promotion have anything to do with the trajectory of your career? Tim Kaminsky answered back, some people want to make their own mark, whether they're friends or at the same place or not. So the guy stayed on him and said, Aaron Besson stayed on him and said, so what you're saying is if that Skrull goes to AEW, he won't be able to make his own mark. That seems a bit far-fetched to me. One's success is all based on one's will to succeed. If Skrull wants to outshine the rest of the elite, he can certainly do it. The guy is extremely talented on the mic and in the ring. I also don't think he'd be in anyone's shadow if he went to AEW. He stands out on his own with or without the rest of the elite.
He needs to stay away from there. Marty Scurll needs to stay in ROH. Do not go to AEW because he will get dragged down. Right now, if you look at it, if this was the game show Survivor, he is on the bottom of his little group there, and he will be voted out first. So stay in Ring of Honor by yourself, be a big fish in a small pond, instead of going to a freaking puddle with a bunch of little minnows. You're not going to fit, alright? So,
what are you going to do with Villains Enterprise? Are you going to leave your newly established faction behind?
Exactly.
Yeah. And here's another thing. I mean, Tony, you probably can attest to this, which people seem to sometimes forget. You shine as much as you are told to shine.
Yeah.
You succeed as much as you are set up to succeed. You don't get to go out there and just outshine the superstars. Trust me, you're not going to be booked the next day.
Exactly.
If that becomes the case.
Yep.
So that is something people have to take into consideration here. This kind of thing, we'll talk more about AEW later on, and this is some of the concerns that I have are just at the tip of this conversation. So let's move it.
Okay.
We'll table it over to the AEW, because this is some stuff we really need to discuss, which I don't know if a lot of people are really thinking of this whole AEW thing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now, to warm us up for Wrestle Kingdom, you guys put up a great podcast. Well, you put up a great poll for us.
Well, you do put up a great podcast every Saturday.
Even if Rick Serrano's on it, it's pretty good.
Which
Hey!
Which I agree with a lot of Tony's views on Raw.
What the fuck?
Lesnar sucks.
God damn.
Wow.
Leo.
What's
Elio's
going
got a voice? Sweet. Okay, the last second poll you guys put up was to the fans out there who watched Wrestle Kingdom, did you love it? Or was it, could have been better? Surprisingly for me, 59% said they loved it, 41% said could have been better. Guys, what did you think? Could it have been better? Could it have been, was it great?
It could have been shorter.
5 hours is too long.
Yeah, I mean, I thought for what it was, it could have been better. I mean, some of the matches got dragged out.
Yep.
More of the main card matches were great, but again, a lot of the smaller contention matches was just, it should have been a lot quicker, and it was just dragged out for me. I think it could have been better, eh?
Now, for me, no, go ahead.
The Omega Tanahashi match, I got a lot of time on there, like 40 minutes.
They had a lot of time. For me, overall, now if I'm going to be picky, I'm going to be picky. But like I said, I tend to try to watch wrestling from a fan's point of view and from a wrestling point of view and from a promoter point of view also. From a promoter's point of view, for me, honestly, I think there were way too many title changes. Mm-hmm. Way too many title changes. A little bit predictable, too. My first time watching Wrestle Kingdom, honestly, overall, I thought it was good. I thought it was very entertaining. The matches, there's a couple matches I'm going to really throw at you guys to see if you can put it in your vault for match of the year. Okay? So, but we'll discuss it. It's your show. I'm going to throw it at you, though, when we discuss Wrestle Kingdom.
Speaking of match of the year, I'm going to bring up an app that I found last night, so later on.
Okay. Not a problem. But anyway, but that's how I feel. It was a good pay-per-view, but like I said, I was being a little bit nitpicky because for me there was way too many title changes, and it was like, all right, you could give the element of surprise here, but, it is what it is.
Okay. Well, you know what, guys? Because I have watched a ton of Wrestle Kingdoms, I'm going to say, actually, surprisingly, the flow of it was a lot better than they have been in the past.
Oh, really?
Some of the matches, which Elio brought up that the one match, the Tanahashi Omega match was 40 minutes. That's usually pretty short for a Wrestle Kingdom main event. Usually they go almost like 50, 60 minutes,
Really?
And then the top 2 or 3 cards go like 45 to 50. So it was quite a bit trimmed down this year compared to the actual match lengths of the bigger matches. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like they added a lot more matches. Like they added, like it seemed like everybody in New Japan had to be represented. The pre-show match, I hated that. I hated like having, and we'll get into that. Let's get into it when we get into it. Then.
All right.
And I'll tell you why I hated it and why it inevitably became a waste of time. Okay? Yeah. But looking at the polls, the people who did comment was all the same thing that you guys kind of said. It was a bit predictable.
Oh.
And I got to admit, as I was watching along, I enjoyed it. But yeah, and that's the hard part about watching wrestling too soon. When you know contracts, when you know movements, sometimes you can pretty much guess who's going to stay and who's going to go and who's going to win and who gets pushed. You got to get that out of your mind and enjoy it as a fan. Then it's a little better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm starting to think and starting to believe? That as adults, wrestling is being harder to get the shock value because we got the internet, we see everything, right? So wrestling has in fact become the trick cereal of wrestling because silly rabbit, wrestling's for kids apparently because it's so hard to be surprised anymore. Like I want to be surprised. I don't want no more spoilers.
You know what we need? We need someone to come out with a cinder block and put it up against someone's head. And
I'm gonna
wait, was that
I'm gonna say the one thing I really can't stand about WNS is when they, or any website out there, when they post spoilers. I hate spoilers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like being surprised.
What I hate, though, being that you saying that, Elio, is the fact that, because I'm the same way. I'm sure a lot of people are, too, is that I can't stand spoilers, especially, like, if you're at work and then you got it, you got it recorded. Well, it's not recorded nowadays. It's DVR or whatever it's called. And then you come home and you want to sit there and enjoy it while you're watching it, check your Facebook, emails, all that bullshit. And then you got to see some asshole fucking, they put in what happened. And then, what I hate the most is when you say, spoiler alert, damn, man, I haven't even seen it yet. We'll stay on Facebook. Really? You telling me what to do? Jesus Christ.
Stay on Facebook.
Now, let me ask you a question. TJ especially, because you've seen this. Now, with the whole thing, with the comments you said was pretty much like what we was just saying.
Yes.
You think that a majority of the people that said that it was predictable, do you think it has anything to do with the whole Kenny Omega thing and they knew that he was going to lose?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, even when we, last week or 2 weeks ago, when me and Elio did kind of pre-thing, I said, looking as a fan and pretending not to know any backstage things or things, I would like to say Kenny Omega's going to win. But knowing the things I know and that, it kind of ruins it that I know he's not going to come out of there as champion.
Yeah.
And there was a few things like that on the card.
Right.
You knew, well, we'll go over it, but you knew Jericho was going to lose. You know he couldn't keep another year of defending his belt once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You knew these things. They were kind of predictable. They were still fun and good matches. But that's the problem with the internet and worms like us. That's one kid for everybody.
No, I'm still upset that Zack Sabre Jr. won. Oh.
Okay. You know what, though? You're going to hate this, Tony. You know what kind of guy I am?
What?
I go and read the spoilers of everything before I have enough time, so I decide from the spoilers what I'll watch.
Oh, shit.
I'm serious. I don't have time to invest in all the rest of
TJ, that's like
a week.
That's like watching the end of a porno and traveling backwards.
Hey, they have loop shots. Don't they have loop clips? I mean, come on. I'm all cool for that.
That's like reading the front of the beginning of a novel and the end of the novel.
Yeah.
You see how Elio changed that shit up from a porn to a novel?
He's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman.
It could be both.
I like how the boys from Wrestling Podcast went porn, and my good and trusted guy went book. Thank you, Elio. Shake the Canadian class. Keep it classy, Canada.
Wow.
All right, let's get into this crazy Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, the thing is, normally on our show we would give out the hater comment of the week and everything. But Miguel's not. What the fuck? Yo, I'm gonna say something. You mama pichos, all of you. You guys are the worst son of a bitches. You don't take me on your show. Go to hell, you haters.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. That's probably why we don't have him on the show.
That's probably why, he's a little prick since he realized he wasn't going to be on today.
Yeah,
Jesus, all right.
With that being said, I need to recover from that, so we're going to take a pause, and when we come back, we're going to talk New Japan Pro Wrestle Kingdom 13. We'll be right back.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to the Wrestling POV podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Wrestling POV Global, and just like Wrestling POV podcast, Wrestling POV Global is affiliated with the Collar and Elbow brand. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Save yourself 10% by using promo code WPOV. That is WPOV, not WPOVA, but WPOV. Save yourself 10%. You got t-shirts, you got hats, you got bags, you got flannels for you Canadians up north. They got it all. They don't have underwear yet, but they will one day. I'm telling you. You support your local indie wrestlers, and you support us, the family of Wrestling POV Podcast. We're all together. We need the money. Save us. Save yourself 10% and save us by giving us your money by using promo code WPOV. It's a win-win for us and Save yourself 10% for you. All right, TJ, New Japan, bro.
New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 13 just finished up. We're going to take a look at the card itself, talk about some of the matches. We're not going to talk about them all because some of them were kind of crappy. We're going to talk about everything, though, of note. And first of all, did you guys take the moment, yes or no, to watch any of the pre-show Gauntlet thing?
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did what I had to do. All right, I am a loyal person. When the Wrestling POV podcast president hit me up and said, "Rick, I need you to be on the show. I need you to spice things up. I need you to carry." Oh, I shouldn't have said all that. Sorry. But when he told me to be on the show, I said, "I'm gonna watch 5 hours of Japanese wrestling right now because I got all the time in the world, Mr. Wrestling POV podcast president." So yes, I watched everything.
Well, what I ended up doing was what's that?
You guys know it was in English, right? There was also an English feed.
There was an English?
See, I watched the Oscar version. That's what
Well, what I ended up doing was I watched the spoilers and then I watched the matches that I wanted to match.
Oh, just mocking
so he does the TJ Logan backwards thing.
Exactly.
Watches the money shot first and then watches how the girl got into the apartment.
Exactly.
It's pizza.
After all, I do read the articles.
Okay.
No, I did watch it. I enjoyed it. We're going to talk more about it. Go ahead, TJ.
Now, the pre-show gauntlet, first of all, I want to say I frickin' hate gauntlets. It's always only fair to the last two teams in there.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just, so basically, it's just an exercise of showing you, here's who's in the company who didn't make it on the card.
Yeah, exactly. And in gauntlet matches, Bayley always starts it and
Sasha always finishes it.
Yeah, that's WWE. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now, here's the teams that went into this, okay?
Yep.
We had the team of Rizuki Taguchi. Wow.
Rizuki Taguchi.
Yeah. Kuchi, yeah.
Togi Magabi. The team of David Fenley, Jeff Cobb, and Yuji Nagata. The Best Friends and Hiroki Goto, which is just a weird combination. The Killer Elite Squad. That's Davey Boy Smith and Lance Archer. Teaming up with Minoru Suzuki, probably the meanest old Japanese man you'll ever meet in a back alley.
Exactly.
And the team of Marty Scurll, Adam Page, and Yujiro Takahashi. Mm-hmm. Now, the story here is this, okay? The winner of this gauntlet, the next day, they have another match. I can't remember what it's called right now. New Beginnings.
New Year's Dash.
Mm-hmm. Now, the whole workup here was whoever won this six-man face-off would get a shot at the six-man titles, right?
Yeah.
Currently held by the Tongan factions of Bullet Club or Firing Squad or whatever they want to call themselves. And the whole story here was that the team of Taguchi, Yano, and Maccabi were three guys who haven't teamed together in over 10 years and who have fought each other and feuded with each other forever. But the story was that they hate Bullet Club so much that they would put aside their differences to team together, and they won. To promptly lose the next day at New Year's Dash.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow, what a waste of a storyline.
That's a terrible way to end it, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, all this great workup, between these guys. Like,
wow.
Maccabi was banned for the first time in 10 years. All this build-up, and then they just lose to the Tongans the next day.
Unreal.
Yeah.
But
that is interesting, but stupid.
But yeah. I was honestly, like, when I was watching, because I caught the last two, when I was seeing it online, and they're like, oh, the pre-matches, I was like, oh, shit. So I caught the last two matches, and I can't express how tall Davey Boy Smith Jr. is.
He's huge. Yeah.
Oh, Lance Archer's taller.
Yeah, but I didn't think he was that big.
He's 6'8", guys.
Yeah, he's 6 foot. Wow. I didn't think, because obviously Davey Boy Smith, he wasn't tall. I think he was
only like 5'11".
Like 5'11", like and you see Davey Boy Smith Jr. He's like, whoa, what the hell happened?
The first time I met him personally and had an interview with him, he was like, I couldn't believe how massively tall he really was.
Now let me ask you a question, TJ and Elio. Yeah. This will go for both of y'all. If WWE did snag somebody like Davey Boy Smith Jr., you think they would now I heard he has like a nasty attitude and all this other stuff. Now, but being the fact that with everything going on with the Heart Foundation and shit like that, do you really think that they would cater to Davey Boy Smith Jr.?
Well, they already had him signed years ago.
Yeah,
he was with the Tyson Kid.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, he was with Tyson Kid. Yep.
Now, if you guys remember that run, Davey Boy Smith Jr. was basically the setup man for the tag team of like Tyson Kidd did all the fancy stuff. He did the setup, right?
He was the anvil.
Right. So then when I saw him and anyone's seen him, this guy is incredible. He does all the moves that the other guys would do. They never let him do it. I discussed that in an interview with him. He talked about they just would never let him do anything except set up moves for Tyson Kidd.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you know, when I went to an autograph signing with Davey Boy Smith Jr., he told me, smile at the camera, kid, and pay me my $20. So,
I don't believe that.
Yeah, so
don't believe that.
I mean, you're not the only one, TJ, that gets interviews. I mean, so I got the interview too.
Did you pay him the $20?
But you know what? Let's get into the show itself, okay? Now, one of the traditions that I really hate about Wrestle Kingdom is the downplay of the tag teams. They build them up all year to be something, and then when the big time comes, they throw them in three-way matches that are just terrible.
Yeah.
This year we had Roppongi 3K, the team of Bushi and Shingo Tagachi, taking on the tag team champions of Yoshinobu Kanemaru and El Desperado. And this was terrible. I did not enjoy this match. I'm sorry. What do you guys think?
I'm not a fan of triple threat matches.
No.
Yeah, there's just too many people, too many bodies in the ring at one time, and it's just so confusing, man. It's just like who's itchy, who's scratchy, like it's just like it's so confusing. And listen, like I said, I'm a WWE head. I watch Ring of Honor, but New Japan is just I don't know these guys. It's as somebody that rarely watches, it's just really difficult to keep up.
There's that many guys.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know the guys. I know the names. I'm familiar with the names.
Now, one thing I have to call the team of Bushi and Shingo Tagagi 1, Shingo is about as light junior weight as I am. Okay, I mean, come on. There is no way this dude is not 230 pounds, and he's running around with all these little skinny guys. Take a look at that.
Elio just fainted because he can't believe that you're not a super light heavyweight. That's how shocked Elio was.
Oh, man. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my Lord. No, it's sort of funny how he's so much bigger than everyone in that division. It's almost becoming an open running joke with the announcers.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of jokes on that. I mean, my Japanese is not that good, but I noticed a lot of those jokes.
All right, the next match. Moving on, and this one we talked about a lot. It was interesting. Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Tomohiro Ishii for the Rev Pro Heavyweight Championship.
I'm so upset about that.
Why is that, Elio?
Because I want to punch Zack Sabre in the face.
Jesus!
Have you guys watched it? He's a walking douchebag. You just want someone to beat that guy to death.
Listen, do not talk about Elio like that. He is not a douchebag. Jesus.
Wow.
I know you're a gentleman, Elio, but don't let him call you a douchebag. Jesus,
wow.
This is what happens on this show.
Elio has no clue what the hell's happening here.
Go ahead with it. This match was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Zack Sabre Jr., I mean, they see something. They see something in him. I mean, obviously the guy, he's shown, like, when he was in the Cruiserweight Classic in WWE, I mean, you've heard a lot of things. Like, people know the name Zack Sabre Jr., but the heavyweight division, is that a spot for him?
Yeah. That's what he's competing in right now. And Tony, I got a question for you. Two questions, actually. Looking at Zack Sabre's body, right? His body type, his weight, and the way a lot of people have a lot of complaints saying he is not built enough for a wrestler for heavyweight because he has this really strange, gawky kind of body. Yeah. What do you think of that?
I agree. It's like what's his name, Johnny Gargano. You know, you throw him whenever he makes it to the main roster. Are you really going to believe that he could win a heavyweight title or the Universal?
Yeah.
You really mean to tell me that a main event picture would be Brock Lesnar versus Johnny Gargano? It's the same thing. Yeah, seriously. You know, it's the same thing with Zack Sabre Jr. You know, I mean, he's talented. Don't get me wrong, but I don't. I agree with what everybody says about him.
And you know, TJ, you can ask me wrestling questions too, because between me and Tony, we've been in the wrestling business for 20 years and change. All right.
Yeah. Guess who has to change?
Okay. This is the next question that I'm going to throw out to the two of you, okay? The next question I'm throwing out to the two of you about Zack Sabre Jr. Watching that style of wrestling, right, what he does, is it possible for him ever to be a good guy? I mean, that does not seem like the kind of style of wrestling that you can actually cheer for. It seems very, very dicky. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. All right, I'm going to leave that. I'm gonna have the change answer that question. Go ahead, Rick.
You see, the thing is with that,
it's gonna take him a minute.
Yeah, you know, Tony, go ahead, Tony. Just take this one right now. I feel a little concussed from my injury 2 years ago.
The finger surgery?
Yeah, the finger injury.
I didn't even hear the question. Because I'm still laughing that Elio's passed out.
No, Zack Sabre Jr., the whole him being a dick thing.
He is a dick.
The rest.
The thing is, it could work. You know, it's worked for other people. Will it work for Zack Sabre Jr. in Japan? I'm not too sure. As you see,
you talking about as a character?
No. I'm talking about the British style wrestling of the whole continuous attacking the joints, hurting the fingers, all this kind of stuff. Is that kind of style conducive to being a face anywhere?
No.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Yeah.
Okay. The next match we got. Well, first of all, did you guys enjoy this match?
It was all right. I did. It was okay.
It was really good. I mean,
good.
Like I said, Zack Sabre Jr. is a household name. He's a douche.
He's just a douche.
What do you think of Ishii, though? I mean, that guy is tough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the hits that were landing on each other. Ishii is a tough dude. I would definitely like to see more of him, man.
Now, before you go on to the next match, I think you skipped over a match.
Oh, did I? Maybe I went in order. What did I miss?
Kota Ibushi versus Will Ospreay.
Oh, that was the opener. Shoot.
Yeah, that was the opener.
Yeah.
Never opened.
That was one of the most incredible matches I have seen in a long time.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. When this match opened up Wrestle Kingdom, and I was just like, holy shit. If this is the how they set it off, I'm going to be in for one hell of a night. 5 hours of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Kota Ibushi, with a lot of people, if a lot of people remember who he was also in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yep.
And the WWE tried to sign him. They gave him, they were offering a 6-figure salary, multi-years, and he turned it down.
He was supposed to win.
He was supposed to win.
Classic.
He was supposed to win. But obviously...
Oh, my God.
Well, and he should have. But my sources... They did say when they offered him that was part of the deal, that they'll make him win the Cruiserweight Classic and all this other shit. And when he turned it down, that's when they decided to, well, I guess you're not going to win. But I'm very impressed with him. I knew when he left, I was like, damn, WWE just missed the mark on this dude. But this match with him and Will Ospreay, now, I'm not, and this is just the old school in me, I'm not a real big fan of all the flips and all that other stuff, but just the moves that they do, one right after the other, and they don't stop. I was impressed with that, because as a wrestler myself, I would have been in the back saying, wait, you want to do what? Seriously, I would have been like, whoa, 2 moves at a time, brother. No, I'm kidding. But, I mean, but that's a lot to remember in a match, to have it in succession like that. You know what I'm saying? And this match, and then this is going to be your first, Elio and TJ, of having a match of the year vault
Yes.
And I want to throw this match in to your guys' vault for match of the year: Kota Ibushi versus Will Ospreay. What do you guys think? It's your guys' show.
The entire card. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so now how we do it over at Wrestling POV is that when we have a match that we think that is match of the year worthy, we do put it in the vault, and then at the end of the year, towards the end of the year, we have a tournament. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's what you guys are going to be doing too. So I want to throw this because this match for me in your guys' Wrestling POV Global, for me, I thought this was definitely a match of the year contender for you guys' vault.
Okay.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, like I'm so big on Kota Ibushi. I mean, he is just a bad mother. Shut your mouth. He is just so good.
Now,
I wish he would have stayed with WWE, man.
Yeah, I do too. But onto Will Ospreay though, I will say this. If WWE signs Will Ospreay, you know that they have to throw him and Ricochet in a match.
Oh my God, yes.
Do you guys remember last year?
Yes.
They had that incredible match that everyone was talking about.
Yeah, and Vader bashed it. But I found out that was all a work. So, but I mean, they have to. They have to. You know, I mean, no matter what Ricochet is doing, I mean, because he'll probably be in the main roster by then.
Yeah.
But what is Will Ospreay's deal? I mean, is he signed with New Japan?
No. Actually, he signed a 1-year contract with them. It's nothing big.
Is it done by the end of this month?
Yeah, it should be done soon. So he'll probably re-sign with them because his thing is he's always wanted to go back and forth between England and Japan.
Oh, okay.
He works with Rev Pro almost monthly and also goes back to Japan quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Elio, did anything in this match really stick out to you?
He's speechless.
That pile driver that he delivered to Bushi.
Okay.
Yeah.
When he drilled him with that pile driver, I was like, what? That one stood out.
Yeah, I gotta say, I really enjoyed this match. It was like mind blowing. Just for you guys who don't really know Kota Ibushi, the person, imagine the dude you know who's really talented, but is a total flake and is a total weirdo. That's Kota Ibushi.
Really?
He started his own wrestling institution where he wanted to experiment with wrestling without ropes and like all this weird crap. He's just a nut job who's really talented.
All right.
That's like it's signed to the WWE. Who knows how it works? It's like Teddy Hart bringing cats to the ring.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's just fantasy that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's like Kenny Omega Japanese. If you know what Kenny Omega's like, kind of like a little bit out there at times. Yeah. He's way the hell out there.
Yeah. Well, the guy wrestled a blow-up doll, so what's that tell you?
Yeah. Hey, both of them wrestled that 9-year-old girl.
And, yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next. Another waste, and they may be out of order slightly, but this another wasted tag team thing. The Young Bucks taking on Evil and Destiny for the tag team belts.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone think the Gorillas were going to win?
I wish they would have won. I mean, Evil and Sonata, I said this last time I was on the show, man. It was just Heath Slater or Rhino.
I picked them to win.
Did you really? He threw that in your face.
I did terrible on this pay-per-view.
Really?
Predictions.
And I think this was in our hearts. All of us was hoping G.O.D. Let's face it, we gotta get Tama Tonga in a singles. This guy in a tag. You know?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I definitely want to see Tama Tonga in a singles. But Heath Slater and Rhino Japanese version, I want to see them as champions. And the Young Bucks, we knew they weren't going to win.
That's a good gimmick, though. Evil and Sonata, that's a good gimmick they got going.
I like them. They really clicked well.
I do too.
This tournament.
Now let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Either Elliot or TJ.
Okay.
Now, Tama Tonga, what's this good guy thing now? How long has he been doing that?
I'm trying to figure it out. He was preventing Tonga Loa from doing something saying, "No, we're good guys. We're good guys. We're good.
Yeah.
We're gonna run your league."
The reason
I
that
don't
came
like
up,
that.
guys, is after All In. Remember how they attacked or they almost attacked the New Japan president, and they were almost fired.
Oh.
So the
I see.
storyline is now they're trying to pretend that they're good so that they can get in the graces, but they're still dicks.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's the
right.
whole story.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense. But at the same time, I mean, this match, I was expecting a lot more from this match, to be honest.
so was I.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Young Bucks, honestly, on the last episode of Wrestling POV Podcast, I gave my heartfelt opinion on them.
All 8 minutes of it.
All 8 minutes of it. But looking at this match, I was looking at the Young Bucks as they didn't want to be there. Not gonna lie, that's how I felt. I'm looking at it, I was like, damn, dude, come on, man. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, though, these guys, if WWE picks these guys up, I don't know.
Tonga Loa used to be in the WWE as Camacho, and they didn't do much with him.
Right.
Yep.
But
And I really like him a lot better right now in New Japan, I must admit.
I do too. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, you would, TJ. You would, TJ. Just want to keep all the talent for yourself. You don't want to say no one in WWE. We're not going to get Kenny Omega.
Those two, I mean, if they, I agree. I do like them in New Japan because it seems like they feel more comfortable there. Mm-hmm. It seems like, they can, like, creatively do what they want. You know what I'm saying? And it's working. I don't think, especially the way Tama Tonga is, I don't think that type of style and his attitude and character, I don't think that it would fit in WWE. But I would love to see them two versus the Usos in a match.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That would be good.
Well, one of the things you guys are picking up on is New Japan usually lets people who don't speak in Japanese pretty much say what they want to say.
Yeah.
And they've said a lot of stuff. I mean, I remember last year when the G1 was announced and they were bringing out all the people, and Tama Tonga came out. And I'm not talking the one that would just happen, but the year before.
Right.
He came out and he grabbed the mic and he said, "Hey, this tournament's fucking bullshit, man. How can it be a world tournament if we're all from Japan? This is bullshit." And he sat down. Vince McMahon would not let that happen.
No, not at all. And Jericho, too. I mean, Christ, every time they do a press conference with Jericho, he's always dropping the F-bombs.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what? What am I watching?
It's Chris Swearico.
I always wanted to see a wrestling promo where somebody called somebody else fuckface. And Jericho did that last time.
That's true.
I'm talking to you.
That is true.
Okay. All in all, we can agree this was kind of a throwaway match. The Young Bucks filled it in.
Yep.
GOD, they weren't the best. Evil Sonata looked good. I'll give them that.
I'm telling you, Rick calls him the Heath Slater and Rhino. I like the character.
I like him.
I like the character. I like them.
Running gang up 3-1.
Sorry, Rick, you're the weakest link. You have been voted out.
Are you sorry? Are you sorry, eh?
No way.
No way.
Are you sorry for being sorry?
He's the Canadian No Way Jose, eh?
Hey.
Next match, we'll move on to Juice Robinson defeating Cody for the IWGP United States Championship.
Well, we kind of saw that coming.
Yeah.
Good match, though.
Very impressive, especially with Cody and the knee injury.
Yeah.
He still was able to pull it off, man. It was a really good match.
Now,
it's Juice Robinson. Like, I've you know what? In NXT, they ain't do shit with him there.
No.
In my
CJ
opinion.
Parker was terrible.
It was just downright awful.
Yep.
I kind of dig this gimmick, though. But I'm not impressed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. It's just, there's something that's... I gotta not see image him in NXT, I guess. But there's something missing. I don't know what it is. I gotta keep watching, and then I can give you my answer later on. But,
Okay.
The match was good, though. The match was good. Not gonna lie.
Rick?
No, it was a really good match, and I was really impressed that Cody's knee was able to hold up.
Yeah.
And Juice Robinson, like you said earlier, very impressed with him. Looks like he's going to be staying there for a while in Japan, at least for another year. So I'm just excited to see what he can do for them.
Yeah.
For another 3 years. So
3 years,
it's going to be, he'll be eating some sushi.
Elio?
Yeah, so I like Juice Robinson a lot better than when he was in NXT as CJ Parker. So I want to see more from this guy.
I agree.
Well, I gotta say this. I've been watching a lot of Juice Robinson matches. They're solid, but Tony brings up something. Is I always feel like there's something kind of missing though. There's still a little final that doesn't make him that superstar. That doesn't make him that top guy. You know, he seems like a mid-carder who's doing good, but there's just something there that he just needs something else, and I don't know what it is because he does flamboyant things, he does fun things, but there's just something about him that I just can't put my finger on.
I agree.
Now this match I really found interesting, and I enjoyed it. And what did you guys think of the opening? I'm talking about Taiji Ishimori defeating Kushida for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title.
Okay, I have to say something.
Yes.
That Kushida entrance when he came out to
Yes.
did the whole Back to the Future thing, I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Come on, son.
You didn't enjoy that?
No,
I hated it.
Absolutely loved it. I'm Back to the Future's biggest fan. Man, I'm currently wearing a Back to the Future shirt, man.
I didn't like it.
Amazing, son. Great
Yeah.
Scott. 1.21 gigawatts. Like, come on, man. Greatest trilogy of all time. Beats The Godfather. I don't care how bad the third movie was. Greatest trilogy of all time. Back to the Future.
Yes.
No. Don't like it.
Elio with a definitive yes.
Now, I have the trilogy. Yes.
Now, guys, a tradition before the whole Wrestle Kingdom 11, like 10 and back, one of the things was all the last 4 matches would have these giant, elaborate introductions like that. That was a New Japan thing back in the day. Before they did the Jim Ross, we had to cut it down to 3.5 hours. They would do all this crazy theatrics, and that was just a throwback to the old days of New Japan. I kind of dug it. I thought it was funny as hell.
No, that was well done. I liked it.
And here's my bonus question for all 3 of you. Who played Doc Brown?
A Japanese guy.
He wrestled earlier in the night.
Oh.
Do you guys recognize him in there?
Mm-mm.
No?
Samurai Jack.
He was the funky weapon, Taguchi, the guy who won
Taguchi.
the 6-man thing. Yeah.
Wow.
That was
I
him.
did
If you
not
look
know
closer, he was the one doing the whole...
The whole Doc Brown.
Now,
So, would he be considered Doc Brown or Doc Yellow?
Ooh,
Oh.
racism hits the old.
Hey!
Wow.
I'm just going to say, moving on.
Asshole.
Here is another match that, guys, the Will Ospreay match was great. This match is another match that I thought was maybe the second best match of the night. Kushida and Ishimori really tore it up. This
Yes,
was
they did.
really unique wrestling. What'd you guys think?
Honestly, I wasn't really that into it.
Oh!
Yes. I just wasn't. I mean, it was okay, but I was a little off watching it because I didn't know who was what.
Okay. But you're going to have to know Kushida now that he's in the WWE coming up.
Exactly, yeah. But I don't know. I just wasn't into it.
Okay.
I wasn't into it.
I mean, I gotta say, I was impressed, and I think it's gonna be awesome to have Kushida in the WWE. I mean, I love Japanese wrestling. I love the style that they bring it to the WWE. Listen, I love Taka Michinoku. I love Funaki. But this new breed, Kushida, you got Shinsuke Nakamura, Asuka, they are elevating Japanese wrestling in the WWE, and I say bring them on. Kushida tore the house down. This is a great match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Elio?
Yep, great match, up and down. I like the match.
Do you know what I really like, guys? I really like, because of the amount of wrestling I watch, when somebody does a move that I haven't seen before. That impresses me. And I saw that in here when Ishimori did that move where he went running and slid under and did a German suplex from a slide into a slide position. You guys remember that?
That was when
Yeah, because he did the ropes.
He
slid under
slid
and
dodge
did the
that
German raped as he slid out of the ropes.
And that's what I love this whole all this Japanese wrestling, all those moves like that you never see, you never really get to see every day.
And I gotta say, Ishimura, man, this guy looks like a walking. I know he's probably only about 5'7" because he's a junior, right? Mm-hmm. But he's a walking tank, and he has this incredible burst of speed where he's one thing and then bam, he's across the ring nailing you. And I really appreciate that about him. I think the Bone Soldiers are pretty good wrestling.
Definitely.
Yep.
All right, well, we're running out of matches, guys. We're getting near the end here. We only got 20 more to go. No, here's a match that I'm going to say I'm not sure how I feel, and I want to know what you guys think.
Okay.
Jay White defeating Kazuchika Okada. No disqualification match.
You know, when I was watching this match, I was really, like, I've seen Okada's matches before. The guy's really, really talented. Jay White is the reason why I really paid attention to this match. I'm not impressed with him, by the way.
Okay.
Good match, though. But I'm still not impressed with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't blame me.
Yeah,
Again,
you know,
go ahead, Rick.
You know, like earlier this year, me and Tony had a lot of top 10s on Wrestling POV podcast, and Okada made our top 10 almost every time.
Yeah.
And that's how good he was in Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Yeah.
A lot of difference a year makes, you know, where he was last year to where he is now, fighting a guy like Jay White. Like Tony said, I'm not impressed with Jay White either. So, what does this tell you about Okada? Is New Japan just like is riding the wave with Okada? Is he getting like the John Cena treatment where we're just going to have him on the pay-per-view just to have him and put him in a match against somebody just to show him off? And then to lose to Jay White, I don't know, man.
Exactly.
I've never seen. This is my first time seeing Jay White, but I wasn't impressed.
You weren't?
No.
Yeah. I guess the problem I have with Jay White is the fact that a year ago he was one of the young boys. You know, those guys outside that, you know, so he doesn't seem that he's really picked up that much more skill and seasoning, and yet they're really pushing the shit out of him. Like, New Japan has invested in him. He's the next challenger for the new IWGP champion, which we'll talk about coming up. He's the next challenger. And I don't know. You know, Okada, they played the whole year of him being lost. He'd come out with balloons. He'd do, like, weird shit. Nobody knew what he was up to. And they just played him as, like, Okada was lost.
Yeah.
You know? And this match was the first time in a year that he's worn the Rainmaker gear and did the Rainmaker moves.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not sure where they're going to go with that.
Yeah, because I guess he was wearing, like, bell-bottoms or something like that?
Oh, yeah. He'd come out in full pants.
Yeah.
A black T-shirt. He'd come out with balloons and give them out to people and hit the announcers with them. Like, just weird shit like that. And you're like, this is Okada?
Yeah.
He didn't wrestle like Okada anyway.
Like, but I'm really impressed with Okada. You know, I'm just, you know, like what Rick said, though, is he getting, like, the John Cena treatment? I was thinking more of the Brock Lesnar treatment, you know? Seriously.
No, they're not going to give him a belt.
That's messed up. But, I mean, the match was okay. I don't want to say that it was bad. I mean, but it was okay. It's just Jay White I'm not impressed with.
No. A lot of people do not like the Switchblade thing, but New Japan is committed for him for the next year of being a big push, the biggest villain.
Wow.
You know? I mean, you guys don't follow the stories, but the reason why Okada is fighting him instead of fighting for any of the belts is because they have a long-standing tradition of stables in Japan. Okay. And nobody has ever really betrayed a stable in 10 years. Jay White betrayed all of Chaos, and that was Okada's group, and attacked Okada and took away one of their members. Oh. So that's what the hate is all about.
Okay.
And now that was that, you know, that guy Ghetto?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He has been, Okada's been his protege for like the last 5 years, and now he's turned on him and joined Jay White to try and wipe out Okada. So that's kind of the hate story there that's going on.
Okay.
That's why all the teams are banding together to take out Jay White.
Gotcha.
All right, so here was the one. Chris Jericho losing the IWGP Intercontinental Championship to Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah, he didn't just lose the belt. He lost a chunk of hair.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he also posted a few pictures of on Instagram of like all the marks that he took from the candlestick shots.
Yeah,
Jericho, man, he's still doing his thing, man. Jericho's one of my top 3. I mean, of all time. I think he's one of the greatest of all time, and he just proves it as he keeps reinventing himself. And not only that, Chris Jericho is actually a good friend of ours on Wrestling POV podcast. We call him Jer because he's our friend. But yeah, he's definitely a great guy and a great friend. And like I said, AEW is lucky to have him right now.
Yeah.
The guy, and he burns no bridges. Like, he can walk into Vince McMahon's office right now and just say, I'm back.
Yeah.
And Vince will take him. He's so likable.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of too, Rick, or kind of weird?
Yes.
He's one of your top 3, right?
Yes.
Wow, mine are 3 of the Spice Girls. That's odd. Okay, Tony.
I don't think Rick gets it.
He will.
Hold on. If I take Chris Jericho as my top 3, and your Spice Girls as their top 3, and I take away one.
No Steiner math. No Steiner math. We had enough of that shit on the other show.
You know how when you married couples say, "Oh, I give you 3 girls, celebrities, if you ever, got a chance, 3 celebrities to sleep with." Yeah, that's what I was going with. I thought it was odd that you picked Eric Jericho, but go on, Tony.
Canadians explaining their jokes.
This match was good. Chris Jericho does not disappoint when he does a high-profile match. Naito, though, a little old. A little bit old.
Yeah.
Dude.
Just
a little bit. I mean, look, he's still in great shape, but you can tell. I mean, and which is shocking because Chris Jericho's old, too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Chris Jericho is running circles around this dude, and just this was a really good match. Not match of the year worthy in my opinion, but this was a good match. I was very entertained by this match. I really wanted to watch this, and just the moves that they did. It was just phenomenal. I mean, the power driver from the ramp on Naito. Yep. Man.
Oh, right onto that table where he made his head through the table?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
And, he was like, if you pause it just right, his whole body was just...
standing straight as a board.
Unbelievable. But this match was...
the right way to do it, man.
This match was definitely good.
Elio?
Yeah, actually, this whole Dark Chris Jericho, I like this whole Dark Chris Jericho. Mm-hmm. What makes him even darker is like the whole paint. I don't know where he got that whole face paint design thing from.
Like a pedo clown.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes him look even darker. I like the whole look and the whole new Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait, you said you like the nude Jericho?
Yeah, I said the nude Jericho. I'm sure you're mistaken.
Holy shit.
Last thing, what do you guys think of this characteristic, though, of Naito? It's the one saving grace of him as the character. Is he's this guy, and he's always, they said it, and he showed it, he's willing to take an exorbitant amount of punishment just so he can spit in your face. Yeah. He did that a few times. He stood there and Jericho punched him in the face a few times just so he could get close enough to spit at him.
Yeah.
I find that interesting. That's an interesting take on that, a character.
Yeah, you spit on me, we're gonna have some problems, alright? That's like...
Yeah.
I'm gonna do more than punch in your face. You spit on me, so it's gonna...
Japanese seem to take a lot lightlier than we do, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, if you ever go to the pornographic pages, Japanese do a lot of others for you.
Let's keep tentacles out of this, boys. This is
whoa!
Okay, last match we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Hiroshi Tanahashi winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship from Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, what was this match like for you?
Open up that vault, mother effers, because this was a match of the year, quality match. This was amazing. It sucks because I said last week with Rusev winning the U.S. title was big for the WWE, but we knew it was going to happen. Yeah. So we knew Kenny Omega was not walking out champion.
No.
So that's the one thing I have an issue with. But this match from beginning to end was just great storytelling. It was a great matchup. It was a great hoorah match for Kenny Omega, like a goodbye match from New Japan. But definitely, I say, if you guys agree, because it is your show that we're invading, if you want to put it in the vault, I would put that as your second match for the Wrestling POV Global Vault for Match of the Year.
I agree with it too.
Elio?
Yeah, that was a good match. I'd put that in the vault.
Okay. I'm cool with that, because you know what?
Yeah.
Kenny Omega matches, I mean, he does things you don't see a lot, like the V-trigger. That he makes that thing look like he is like beating you as hard as he possibly can with his knee to part of your body.
Yeah.
You got to appreciate that, because how many times have you seen wrestlers who do the old kick or something and you see him slapping the leg and doing everything looks just a little too, He has his timing down where he makes every move look like he is trying to kill you out there.
That's true, yeah. When he was given those knees, I was just like, yo. It's like either he's really pissed off or he's really that good. Because, that was some nasty knee strikes, too. Yeah, but this match, just like what Rick said, though, because it is your guys' show.
No, we would have put these in, guys. This was choice things. These were good matches.
Yeah, and it's definitely match of the year worthy, and no better yet to open up the year of 2019 than to have these two matches in the vault. And Kenny Omega versus Tanahashi, it definitely, yeah, for sure. I really enjoyed this match.
All right, well, you know what? Last question, guys, before we get out of this New Japan.
You got it.
We got Hiroshi Tanahashi. This old broken down wrestler is the new champion. The guy who spent all last year in a shoulder brace because he could barely move his elbow is now the champion. Is he just a transition champion because Omega's leaving? Because if that's true, we might be looking at Jay White next month as the champion.
Oh, Lord, don't say no Jay White. I know.
I'm sorry, boys. It would not surprise me because they really are pushing the shit out of Jay White as
Maybe the Tonga. Maybe he gets stepped up, Maybe they split them up and he comes up, He's definitely a placeholder champion. That is factual right there. There's no way they're gonna keep this belt on this dude for any longer than they need to.
But I mean, New Japan lost a lot of people this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
After this pay-per-view.
And
so is Ring of Honor. So. I don't, as a transition champion, just to give it to Jay White, I don't think so. Not yet.
I hope not.
I
really hope not, but it would not surprise me.
Yeah, but
don't mess this up, TJ. Don't mess it up.
I just think it's too early. I just think it's too soon for Jay White to have that, because...
But look how quickly they pushed him on the first pay-per-view. He fought Chris Jericho on the first pay-per-view he made for Wrestle Kingdom.
Right. True.
So, yeah, I'm worried about it. I don't want that, but he is the next confirmed contender, and he's getting the next title shot, and I don't know. I can't see Tanahashi holding this belt for very long.
Unless they give him the Brock Lesnar treatment.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Anyone can win. If you only defend it once every...
that's the only way.
I guess you can hold it for a long time. Right?
Exactly.
So, guys, all in all, Wrestle Kingdom, it was pretty good, I thought.
I'll give it a strong. I'll give it a strong B.
B?
Yeah.
You got two match vault matches in there.
Okay, B plus.
Sounds fair. Rick?
All right, as the only teacher here out of all of us, I am giving it a C because you're not going to give me one match, two matches, and I'm going to give you an A or a B. All right? A couple of weeks ago, we had a pay-per-view for WWE. They had a great match. Yeah, one great match, you're gonna get a D. Two great matches, you're gonna get a C. I mean, two great matches. But again, Jericho was a great match, so I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna bump it up to a B minus.
B minus.
It was a great match. The thing is, the predictability of all of it, that you were able to predict who's gonna win.
Yeah.
That kind of brings it away.
But it was still enjoyable.
B minus. It was definitely a solid show. A B minus or a B. Yeah.
Elio?
Yeah, I think I'd say it was a pretty solid show. I really liked it. Those two match of the years that we have. So I'm going to give it a B.
A B. Well, you know what? I'm not going to play the alpha game. I'm going to dig down to the old days of Hustler Magazine, and I'm going to give it 3/4 erect.
Jesus Christ. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know, but the looks of it, he's already 3/4 of the way erect. Put that away, TJ.
Now, guys,
Good
you know
God.
what we've been talking Wrestle Kingdom, but there's one thing that keeps popping up in the very background of all these conversations we've had continuously through this whole show. Let's just address it really quickly.
All right.
AEW. All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, this is my concerns, and I want to ask you guys your opinions on this, okay? Looking at all the guys they're signing are basically the who's who of indie wrestling.
Right.
These are guys who make big things, but is the who's are these special one attraction guys? Is this enough to make an actual company of wrestling, a touring company? That's one thing I worry about. All these guys are guys who've made their own characters and developed that. Yep. Now, do you suppose they're going to have that kind of license going in with when it's owned by run by the Young Bucks and Cody and those guys who are the obvious top dogs?
Yeah. Sadly, I don't think it's going to be successul. All jokes aside, I get an NWO vibe. How NWO, when they came to WCW, all their best friends were winning matches. Listen, guys, you're bringing all the top guys from the indies together. Someone has to win, and someone has to lose.
Yep.
Who is losing at another group of guys?
Yeah.
Neville's going to come from all these different companies, and he's going to lose? Chris Jericho is going to walk into AEW, and he's going to lose? I don't think so. Okay. So, who are going to be the losers of AEW? The Young Bucks? Definitely not.
I saw the list of the guys they signed. Chris Jericho was surprising though. That when I saw his name on that list, though.
I was surprised if he didn't sign.
Now here are my concerns.
Yes.
All right. Will they be successful? I have to go on the no, because there's a lot of factors that a lot of people don't see going in. Number one, when they did All In, okay, obviously it was a pay-per-view. Pay-per-views are meant to be good. They're meant to be great. You have to throw the best possible pay-per-view that you can. So you have to have a storyline related going into the pay-per-view. It's done in boxing. It's done in UFC. That's just how business works. So when they did All In, was it a good pay-per-view? It was a good pay-per-view. It wasn't great, but it was a good pay-per-view. Now these guys are stepping into the realm of TV. They're stepping into the realm of creating storylines. Just like what Rick said. You got Chris Jericho. You gonna tell me he's gonna lose? If they ended up getting Kenny Omega, you gonna tell me he's gonna lose? What kind of belts are they gonna have? Are they gonna have just one heavyweight champion, or they're gonna have a
26?
A what?
26 belts.
They're gonna have 26 belts? Exactly. I don't know where you got that number from, but anyway, we'll go with that one. But seriously, it's like you're trying to sign these top dogs, but yet you only got one prize. Who in the hell between all them? Like I said, you got Cody Rhodes too. The guy, I've seen it time and time again in different indie promotions. Yeah, I know it's a difference, but it's still the same shit. Where one of my friends would own an indie promotion and he would only put over his friends. And then the other people were like, yo, what about us? And they were like, well, we're still paying you, it's a big hassle. You look at somebody like the Young Bucks, they're really going to be the first ever AEW tag team champions? Probably. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of factors. And how long is the show, going to be? Are they going to run an hour program? Where are they going to run it? What channel? On what day? I'm sorry to say, a lot of people, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. But they don't think about the factors like that. Plus, the main factor, I'm sorry to say, but these guys are the pinnacle of wrestling. WWE, you're going to have to match up with them. They're going to have to match up with Ring of Honor. So what day are you going to put your program on? Monday and Tuesdays are, WWE. Wednesdays technically is WWE. Thursdays, it used to be Impact. Fridays usually Ring of Honor. What day are you going to put your show on?
No, Fridays is Impact.
Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And then Friday is going to be SmackDown later on.
And later on, exactly.
Sunday's MLW.
And so where, and then plus your pay-per-views. Are you really going to tell me you're going to compete with WWE pay-per-views?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to bash them, but I'm trying to look at the reality of it, and what they have. What everybody has to look at is that it's a business. You know what I mean? It's first and foremost, it's a business. So what these guys, Cody and the Young Bucks, they got a lot on their plate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go ahead, bring your friends, but they're gonna want to go over. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't go over, they're gonna. It's bad. It's really bad. So I mean, I do wish them well. I hope that it is successful, but I just don't see it being successful in the first year.
Yeah, and hopefully Cody has the same thing his dad had, and that is just scouting talent.
Yeah.
He's got to be able to spot this talent and be able to move on to find the great talent that there is out there, and you got to deal with all the egos. You know, what's his name? Dusty Rhodes dealt with all those egos, and he put them in check. Can Cody do the same? And can he get the respect that Dusty had? I don't know. So it's going to be something to see.
Well, what about you, Elio? What do you think?
Well, I hope they're successful. But like you said, I don't know. You got to think about a lot of things, like what days they're going to run, what channel are you going to run on.
If you can even find a TV show.
Yeah.
Gotta land a deal. Gotta land that deal.
There's word that they're going to get TNT or TBS.
Ooh.
Any wrestling is a good alternative to WWE.
Yeah. Well, hey, wait a minute.
Well, except for Impact.
Okay, well, this is the last thing I'm going to say, guys. Is for every time you can say, you take the Young Bucks and go, oh, they made this tremendous career. They beat the Briscoes, or they beat this. But to get where they did, they had to storm through a whole bunch of companies' minor guys to build up a reputation. Then their mids, and then their main eventers. Right. How do you build that, go in dry to a company where made of all superstars all of a sudden? How do you develop anything further? Or, as if they're not going to be the first tag team champions. They won't, they have giant stakes in it. Yeah. They're going to want to be, they're making the belts for themselves.
Yeah. Or what if they just come back as Generation Me?
Yeah, that ain't going to work. In the end, I don't want to be a naysayer, but I really... Unless the guy who owns the Jaguars is really willing to spend 5 or 6 years of losing constant money, then they have a chance.
He's losing money now with the Jaguars.
So I guess he's used to it, but I would love for this to work. I would love to see Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and these guys on a bigger scale, on a better positioning, on being themselves, but...
Security.
You can't always have the cake and eat it too.
Yeah, it's security.
Sad reality.
It's cake?
There's cake.
There's always cake.
When you sign, you get a piece of cake. But
when you come on Global, there's always cake.
And it's always chocolate.
Damn! Yes.
Yeah.
You don't get that shit.
Hey, we don't get paid those. Keep that in mind.
Oh,
damn.
True.
We got an alcoholic woman on our show.
He eats booze.
Yeah, that's true. We get booze, so I guess it's better than cake.
Well, you know what, guys? This has been a really fun time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've really enjoyed, I really wanted to talk to, I've been waiting, because I knew the show was coming. I've been waiting on Pins and Needles just to hear what you guys had to say, because I love talking some interesting, healthy talk. And you know what, fans? You want to talk about what we're talking about, please drop us a message on WPOV podcast page on Facebook. Guys, what are the other social medias that fans can write to?
You go to our Instagram page at WrestlePOV1 or our Twitter, which is controlled by our psycho puppet Miguel Cole at WrestlingPOV. Also, be sure to check out our new episodes every Saturday on iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, and iHeartRadio for free. I mean, it's just amazing, guys. We've been having a lot of fun there. And like WrestlePOV Global, we're going to be doing bigger and better things with WrestlePOV. We're not going to be tampons or anything like that, but we're going to do bigger and better things.
I'm kind of glad he kind of blurted out there for a second, folks. But
yeah, he did blurt out.
yeah. All I heard was tampon and something else.
That was it.
Where that was going.
Well, you'll find out more this Saturday on Wrestling POV.
I know, fans, it's going to be pretty hard to top having the boys from Wrestling Podcast POV on here.
Yes.
So I had to dig deep into the time vault for next week's episode and I found a guy who only can be described as phenomenal.
Rick Serrano III! I didn't sign to come back next week.
No, Rick.
You want me to come back? I'll come back.
Rick,
What?
when I told you to put your head in something cold? This is the time to do it.
Okay.
I'm talking about the real phenomenal one, AJ Styles, an interview a couple of years back. That's right. I know you love AJ Styles, Rick.
Yes. I mean, yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
So we'll have an interview with him next week, folks. Me and Ellie will be back. We'll be talking MLW, ROH, a whole bunch of ABC letters we'll throw together and make up leagues for you. It'll be fun next week. So, I want to thank my two guests, Tony, and of course, the whole giant Rick Serrano, the third wheel. And of course, my illustrious co-host as always, the gentleman himself, Elio Canella. I'm TJ Logan. We've had a great time, folks. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. And yes, check out Wrestling Podcast POV itself.
Wrestling POV, DJ! Wrestling POV!
It's like Global on meth.
We'll see you next week.
Wow.